The opinions expressed on this program are those of the program host and guest and are not necessarily those of WSTU. WSTU does not endorse products that may be mentioned. Any reproduction or retransmission of this broadcast is strictly prohibited without written consent of WSTU. It's time for Luxury Kitchens and Bath. Phone lines are open at 220-9788, 220-WSTU. And now, here's your host, John Campion.
Hey, howdy. At least I'm kind of on it. I got Frank here adjusting my face. Hey, this is John Campion with my superstar partner here, Frank Mezzapel. I'll save the world famous for another. Oh, I said it, didn't I? Hey, Frank, how are you?
Great. It's good to see you.
Thanks.
You're a busy guy.
Yeah, I got the old raspy voice going today. I had to use it a lot. I'm John Campion. I'm the author of this show. I like how they state the fact that they want to be held responsible for everything that we talk about. Very good.
You need those disclaimers.
Yes, the management is very smart. But,
yes.
I'm trying to get the show name changed. We're European Kitchen and Bath. We'll get there.
Yeah,
but
we'll
that's
get there. Next week.
That's the business that I own over on Monterey Road.
Right.
And I've got this show every Tuesday night from now till the top of the hour. And, this is the second week. Last week I had some... it was a breaking in period, and today's the second breaking in period, but I always feel very comfortable. My biggest objective is to make everybody laugh in a nice, calm way.
Yeah.
Is that possible?
Enjoy the ride home.
That's it.
Yeah, something to chuckle over.
But, Frank and I were talking a little bit earlier today about, what was going on with the show, and I just told him I was having one of those days. I finally sat down about 2 p.m. today. And the only last time I sat down before that was 6:30 at home when I was putting my shoes on. So I just want to kind of say something here because it's, I'm involved with a lot of different business groups and whatnot. And I just had the greatest time sponsoring over at our store on Monterey Road, the Stewart Martin County Chamber of Commerce breakfast. And it's a continental breakfast, and we had attendance of, it was crazy, Frank, 75 to 80 people.
Wow.
And the chamber over there just does a really great job. They make it easy. I had my the food and drink catered by Kevin over at Stewart Coffee.
Yes.
So this is a nice plug for him. I didn't have to do anything except have a table set up with a tablecloth on it. And everybody came in, and we had a great time. We laughed, got people's pictures sitting on toities, and it was a lot of fun.
Cool.
What do you got there, Frank? You playing with something?
I'm just thinking about some stuff we got going on this day in history. But, hey, go. What you're talking about is very important stuff.
Well, so the day just kind of continued.
Yeah.
Customers were rolling in all day. I had one of my salespeople was out, so we were down a body. And then we had a customer who kind of got to a point where my wife Dee Dee offered to take her home and ended up dropping her off at Martin County North.
Martin Memorial.
And she's still in there. So
it was a good. In the medical world, they call that a good catch.
Yeah, it was a good catch, and she was fortunate that my wife Dee Dee, who is pretty good at all this medical stuff. So Mrs. C, we hope you feel better and get out of there soon.
Yeah.
And the day rolled and rolled, and finally about 10 after 5, I told a customer that I had to go because I was on the radio.
Yeah.
So she said go. It was,
you got her permission.
And everybody else was still there with customers. So that's a great sign, and we really appreciate the support. And that's what I just kind of wanted to say, that doing business with local people is so important out there, everybody. We really, really appreciate the support. And we talked about this last week briefly. We've got so many good small businesses in this area. You just got to know the right people to talk to and get set up with, and referrals from neighbors.
Right.
And utilize this stuff, okay? There's the good, the bad, and the ugly out there, but it's important, and there are just lots of new people in town. I checked something out, Frank. There's 1,000 people a day moving into Florida.
Yes.
1,000 people a day. And I can tell you, we probably had 500 of them today. No, but we had a lot of, every day we have a lot of new people.
Yeah.
And then it's nice when they say so-and-so sent us. So getting that referral is awesome. And one of the reasons they said 1,000 people a day are moving into Florida, the quote was, because they are more free here than they are in some other place.
Yeah.
So I always called
like that.
Florida the Wild Wild West in its own way, and we got a lot going on out there, not just here but all over the country. So be grateful for what we have. Also, there's always so much activity here because of the nasty weather up north. We have the daylight savings time thing.
Yeah.
Man.
How did you do Monday morning?
I think I was in the frog with everybody else.
Oh my
That was
God.
crazy.
I know.
You know, I think back when I used to fly from Central Time Zone to Eastern Time
Right.
Zone, back to Central Time Zone, back to Western Time Zone, back to Eastern.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't know. I must have been a younger man.
Right.
But-
well, I set my coffee maker to go off at 6 o'clock in the morning. Right.
Okay.
And so generally I will wake up in advance of the coffee maker by a couple minutes, and it's so, but sometimes I sleep past, my normal wake up time, but the smell of the coffee will wake me up. Right. Not Monday. I didn't roll out of bed till maybe about 6:30.
Yeah.
And I go, oh yeah, there's
That's
some coffee
true.
smell
Yeah,
there.
I've seen that in a commercial.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just like, whoa.
That's amazing. That's good.
And I wanted to roll back over because I woke up and it was dark. I go, well, this doesn't feel right.
No,
you know?
But the whole
Yeah.
question is very interesting. Is as I guess it'll be on the ballot in August, early on voting daylight savings time in or out in Florida.
Yeah, the governor had to sign the bill, and he has to approve it first, and it passed the state legislature. And he has to say, and I don't know if he has signed it yet. And then even after he signs it, the federal government has to sign off on it too, because it affects commerce with other states.
Okay.
So,
Well, these days they're gone.
yeah.
I mean, I was talking to my brother who lives up in Nashville, Central Time Zone. I asked him what he thought. He goes, "I hate daylight savings time," but he lives in the Central Time Zone, which I think is the best time zone in the country.
Well, I think they ought to split the bathwater, right? The baby in the bathwater thing.
Okay.
They ought to just do it on a half hour and then keep it constant. So just
That's a different
change
thought.
it. It's just change it all together. So somebody would be half happy.
Half hour. That's about as long as this show is almost.
Right.
Yeah. So I
So
got to talk fast.
But anyways, that's just a goofy
No, it's,
thought. But I mean, because it's always like 1 hour is like too much of a trouble. So it's maybe just make it 30 minutes and then change the time and make it permanent.
I have 2 clocks at my house that I
Yeah.
didn't have to change. I
Right.
couldn't reach them, so
Yeah.
I didn't get to them. So now they're back to where they were. They sprung forward on their own for
Oh,
the
did
last 6 months or whatever.
Oh,
it's been.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
I mean,
Well, that's
literally.
perfect. Yeah. So you're right on time now.
I need a screwdriver again to take the back panel off, and I'm
Oh.
too lazy to do it. So I just leave those alone.
Well, you're all set now.
I am in 2 rooms. So now everything is correct.
So
I
many,
think.
so many of these devices now sync up with satellites,
Right.
and you don't even have to do anything, like your phone, and it
Well-
automatically changes.
I have a newer car, 2016
Nice.
GMC.
Yeah.
I love the car. I love getting in it. Matter of fact, when I get out of here, I'm just going to go sit out there and listen to radio. Anyways, but when we got in it the other morning,
Yes.
it was on Eastern time. I mean, it was on time that we were on before,
Yeah.
and we drove about 2 minutes, and I looked down and I said, "Did you change that?" And she goes, "No, it did its own." So,
Right. Once it finds that satellite, it syncs up, and then
so I'm
presto
glad
changeo.
I spent 50 million thousand on that damn card so I could have a clock that works.
Cool.
So the things I was thinking about real quick, I just want to talk about was, okay, so now Florida becomes the place for spring break.
Yes.
Everybody's talking about coming here, and it's great. I mean, it helps. And then, of course, it's always different everywhere with
Yeah.
it's before, it's after, families coming here and there. Everybody over at our store, everybody's like, I got to get the stuff in before all my guests
Yeah,
come. I
yeah.
go, well, where were you 3 months ago when you should have been doing this? But it's like everybody else, which is a point I'm going to make in a minute. So we got Easter break, and Easter's late this year, right?
Yeah.
Like April 1st or 31st or whatever.
I forget. But yeah,
It is. And so that's happening.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I have to say I'm a supporter of the snowbirds because I have retail businesses.
Right.
And it's great to have them here, and I know everybody likes them to go home. So it won't be long till you get out of Saturday night church and you're the first one at the restaurant, okay?
Well, I call it the change of colors, right?
Yes.
So in the fall, the leaves fall, up north, and like our license plates, they change colors down here. So that's the change of colors for me.
Okay.
right?
Yep.
I like that.
I do too.
And I don't mind it because those folks that come down to visit us spend a lot of money.
They do.
And I'm delighted they're here, and I don't mind sharing the roads with them for that little bit of time out of the year. It's great.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I think one of the cooler things too is that I was at one of the more popular restaurants in town, and walking from the far part of the parking lot because I was parked far away,
Right.
walking in 22 different out-of-state license plates.
See,
So
you make note of that.
and that
yourself.
was at 5:30 before 6 p.m. on a Monday night.
See,
Yeah. I was headed over to our a meeting I had, and it was just amazed. So hey, come on, we love you.
yeah,
So
absolutely. Yeah.
we're enjoy your stay, and we hope they get the power restored up your home up north.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that whole eastern seaboard area is from Boston down to Philadelphia,
Yeah,
right?
Boston got nailed. Massachusetts,
Yeah.
a lot of that stuff up there. And by the way, Frank, looking on my
Your appointment calendar.
Yeah, I'm a digital native here, as you can tell by my daytimer.
I like it.
But Easter is on April Fool's Day.
April 1st.
Yeah, so
Very cool.
go. It's going to be a busy day, and
Right.
churches will be packed, and
Yeah.
that's the way it should be. So, because after that, see y'all later. But hang around.
Things that do thin out right after Easter.
They do.
Yeah.
One of the other things that I was thinking about, Frank, is kind of going with what happened today. One of our potential guests coming up, they were kind of responded to me. They couldn't make it today because they were slammed. And I said, well, we're all slammed. And
Yeah.
I don't care what business or what your life is. We all have so much on our plate, and we got so much going on. I mean, look at yourself. How come you dress so nice today?
Well, I went to a Kiwanis meeting today.
Okay.
Yeah, over at Symphony at Stewart.
Nice.
And I had dress slacks on and dress shoes. And so I started changing when I went to my office after, lunch, and I got
Halfway.
half changed.
Yeah, you are kind of. You look
Yeah.
like.
So I got my sneakers and I have my blue jeans on, and I left the shirt and tie. But
Well, the fact you got big boy pants and a nice
Yeah.
silk tie and button-down shirt,
yeah,
very cool. So, I wore big boy pants today, and I don't usually do that.
Ah, that's right. Normally, you and I are generally found wearing our shorts.
Shorts.
Yeah.
I just always like to say I want to dress like the warehouse guy, except I do dress better than Barrett. And Barrett, I know you're not listening, but I don't wear a T-shirt to work, or my FSU hat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
And thank you, Barrett, for cutting your mullet off.
Yeah.
That was nice,
That was
wasn't it?
an improvement.
I know he's not listening,
Yeah.
so.
Well, maybe he is. You never know.
Well, he could be, yeah. Well, he's up in Fort Pierce. I don't know if he can hear us up there.
Sometimes.
All
Yeah,
right.
they can actually hear us all the way up to the southern end of Vero.
That's very cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I got a few people to call. So you have got a lot going on over here at the radio station.
We do.
The show we just had with Casey. I always told her
Yes.
it's tough to follow up
Yes.
the guests she has. She's just so on top of it.
Yes.
And,
she's a dynamic person, and we're delighted that she's with us here.
Yeah.
Yes.
She told me, well, you do your show. It's always good to make people laugh. I said, well, we're going to try our best.
Yeah.
We're gonna try our
absolutely.
best.
Yeah.
So what happened?
All
You
right.
got something
I got a
pointed
little
up
bit,
here.
all right, so I'm going to cue a little bit of music because I like to do that stuff, right? And then
4 o'clock rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8
All right.
o'clock rock. 9,
so
10, 11
in
o'clock,
history,
12 o'clock, rock
what
and
does that
roll, rock.
music remind you of?
In history?
Yeah, something happened this day in history. All right, remember the name of this group?
This is
Bill Haley.
Bill Haley and the Comets.
Yes. All right. So that's your tip because on this date in history,
Haley's Comet.
Haley's Comet was discovered in the year 607. It's the 12th recorded passage of Haley's Comet occurred.
Do they say in there the last time we saw it? Because I remember that. I was living in Virginia.
Yeah.
Was that the one that was up there forever? Or is that a different one I saw?
Oh, it was Haley's Comet.
Yeah.
It was pretty,
You saw it for a few weeks.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was
a couple, maybe a week. I don't know. Back then,
it wasn't just a brief visit.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Because you saw it as it was approaching, and you saw it as it left.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Well, at first when you started playing that, Dee Dee and I were a guest of our bank for dinner and a show
Right.
Sunday over at the Lyric, which, we all know what a prize gem the Lyric is. And it was the rock and roll doo-wop show.
Oh,
And
I
they
love
had a
that
six-piece band.
Yeah.
And they had Shirley. Honestly, I sat up in the. Well, it's kind of funny. The lower balcony is up over at the Lyric. I don't know if you know that.
Yes.
Yeah, you go up. It's the lower balcony, and then above it is the upper balcony. So I guess down below is the orchestra.
Yeah.
But I usually, when I go there, people have invited me, so I never know where the seats are other than where they tell me they give them to me. I'm very lucky.
Just point me at my seat. Yes.
So,
yes.
but anyways, it was an amazing, amazing show. And the whole time I thought of our good friend Sam Masha from Port St. Lucie Auto Body, who
Right.
we've had Sam on our Martin County Business Show before.
Yes.
Many times he's just fun to listen to. And he
Always
used to,
has a story.
he used to play in a doo-wop band, and he also played guitar at the Apollo Lounge when he was a young man.
Isn't that cool?
And, so anyways, these
Yeah.
guys, we have Shirley, and I apologize to anybody listening who knows this. She was the lead singer and founder of the Shirelles, 76 years old, up on stage, just belting it out.
Isn't that great?
And they had the guy who was the lead singer from the Buckinghams, hit song.
Lady Willpower.
Oh, it was
right.
amazing. Now,
Yeah.
he said there's two other members of that band traveling, but they're not associated with him. So he travels with this group, and they had a six-piece band, and it was about an hour show. And I'm 61 years old. My wife and I are the same age, basically, and we were the youngest people at the Lyric. But the people in front of us and around us singing and dancing and shaking it to all the late 50s, mid 60s music was incredible. So I think the latest year they had on there was probably 67.
Oh, there you go.
And they had another guy who was, he used to sit in his car and make out with his girlfriend before the Verrazano Bridge was built, and talked about Belt Road or Belt Avenue, and all you folks from Brooklyn know what I'm talking about. I don't know, but it got a great kick out of the crowd. So
Well,
that was a
good.
lot of fun.
Ah, cool.
A lot of fun.
And my computer's froze up.
Well,
I was pulling down some Buckingham's music for you too.
yeah, when you're there listening to it, you're going, oh, yeah, I remember
know
that song.
Yeah.
And so on the way home, we flipped over to a 60s channel, and I said they're going to have to play one of these songs we listened to, but they didn't. But there's plenty of stuff. So it's good memories, and I was a young man then, but boy, you sure remember that stuff.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, the Buckinghams. They started in about 1959, 1960.
Really? Yeah, it was in the
And
60s.
they split up in 67. There you go. That's what he's saying. He's the lead singer. Yeah, that's him right there. That was him. He was up there bouncing around. This guy's probably. So he's now like 75. What's he in that? Like young?
Maybe in his 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So it's great to see these, and they have these doo-wop bands all over the country.
Oh, sure.
It's big stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I was really excited that we got to be invited to that.
Yeah. Very cool.
Thank you, my business bank, who's good friends of all of ours. So
Yeah, very cool.
anytime you want to ask, call in. I'll give you the answer. No, we're not ready to switch banks yet. Very fortunate. Like I say, everybody they take such good care of us.
Isn't that great?
One of the other cool things is, grateful for my family. Still my youngest son, Ben. I don't know if you're listening, but I will have to have Ben on one show, Frank, because
Yeah.
he wants to be on the radio so bad.
Well, let's do it.
And he's, one of our millennial guys, which
Yeah.
he'd say, Dad, don't call me that. But he's like a mini-me, and we could probably...
Kind of riff off each other.
yeah,
Yeah.
all three of us. I think you'd be a good middleman on that.
Okay.
You and Ben are about the same size if we put you on a chair.
Really?
Yeah, no, he's 6'5".
6'5". All right, he's about the size of my son Scott. He's
There you go.
6'4".
See, and you know
Yeah.
what it's from? It's from milk
Yeah.
and the chicken, all the stuff in it.
Oh, okay. All right.
you know.
I'm going with beef.
beef. It's all about the beef. Yeah, which I was lucky. I was out in Okeechobee this past week at the Quail Hollow Plantation shooting range.
Yeah.
We had a business meeting out there, and it's the first time I've been to one of these skeet shooting. Have you been out to any of these yet?
I know of it. I know the Kiwanis Club had a skeet shooting there at Quail Hollow about a couple of years ago.
Well,
I
did mention them, and it's not fair to not mention any other ones around, but I have to say, what a great experience. It was Friday. It was such a beautiful day. Unfortunately, I had a wrist injury, and I didn't get to shoot bullets because I shoot with my left hand with my trigger fingers, my left hand. So anyways, it was fun.
Yeah.
And wow, what a whole nother what another culture. And it's just like golf.
Yeah.
They got the golf carts, and the guys going out early. The guys going out early had their dogs, and they were getting quail. And I mean, the best thing about it was the little country style breakfast we had. I felt like I was out in the woods in Canada. So very cool.
That is very cool.
Yeah, they had,
How long of a drive is it to get there?
Well, this place isn't bad because it's really not all the way out there. It's probably about 45 minutes. It was, you go up, it's just up off of, what do you call that, Kings Highway.
Sure.
You kind of off an angle road, you cut up, so you don't go all the way out to Okeechobee because I was going to take the Martin grade out through the trees.
Right.
And I told my sponsor who was going out there to have the meeting, he goes, well, if you would have gone out that way, it would have taken you another hour to get back. So, and I'm not trying to imitate his accent.
No.
I'm just saying it's the way it was. That's the funniest thing I've said. No, it's not. Listen, y'all, if you're listening, I really appreciate it, and Frank appreciates it. I'm working on my list of guests. We have to talk fast when we come in here, but I've really had a great time, sharing today things that happened to myself and with many people around me. The best part about today was the fact that we exposed a lot of people to our business,
Right.
Which I can't tell you how many people said they've been driving by for 8, 9, 10 years.
Right.
They all thought we were at a big warehouse over there at European Kitchen and Bath on Monterey. But when they came in and saw our showroom, and of course you've been over there enough to know to appreciate it. And we had a lot of our friends from Martin County Business Exchange stop in and wanted to show off our remodel. And at 7:30 in the morning, the 5,000 Kelvin LED lights, 50 of them in the place. The place was lit up. Okay, it was lit up. So what's going on with you this week, Frank? We got a couple minutes left here.
Well, yeah, we got a couple minutes left. So, we got, of course, MCBE breakfast tomorrow.
Have a good time. I got to go to a board meeting, but
right.
I'll be thinking about you.
Okay. And we got 3 shows we're doing tomorrow. Right, so we got the MCBE show, we got the golf show
with
then,
John, James
Stammer,
yeah,
and then we have, of course, the Martin County Difference with Julia Sansevier. So she's our dancing realtor.
Okay.
I got one of our listeners called up. It's not realtor, it's realtor. Realtor. Yeah.
Okay.
So yes,
well,
I got corrected, and he was correct that I was saying it wrong.
Well, one of these days when I get my first caller, I have to think of a special prize for them, unless it's a family member. Just tell them thanks. Just tell them your Uncle Charlie. But what's cool about this being able to stream with this show and whatnot, my oldest son works up in Orlando for Disney, and he was busy till like 8:00. And he listened to the show and very complimentary to me because, you get out, you're a little critical of how it went. And he was good. And my brother up in Nashville listened to it. Cool. And he thought it was very, very nice, listening to the brother or the dad. But for those of you who don't know me out there, I'm like the friendliest guy in the world, and I make friends easy. And I just want you to know that we would love to have you come visit our store, European Kitchen and Bath. We're open. We're in Vero and Stewart, and our hours are Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and Saturday in Stewart, 10 to 2.
Right.
And I've got a wonderful staff and excellent products. You're remodeling a kitchen or a bathroom. We got the stuff, and we've got the stuff. We got the stuff. And I'm really, really proud of what we do over there. So.
Absolutely. And when you drive by European Kitchen and Bath there on Monterey, look at the marquee, because John always has some interesting, fun little quips there for you to
Well,
read and
tomorrow,
chuckle.
Yeah, tomorrow we got one going up, and I just want you to know I didn't think it up. My wife Dee Dee did, and if you know Dee Dee, you'll go, "Wow, she came up with that. She's amazing."
Yeah.
So, thank you for listening to what I'm going to call European Kitchen and Bath Show, but
Yes.
John Campion, your host, and my great co-host Frank Mezzapel. I couldn't do it without him.
Oh, you're too kind.
Thanks for all your support, Frank. It means a lot.
Thank you, buddy, and we'll look forward to coming back next week. Right?
All right, you betcha. Martin County, have a great week, and we'll see you soon.
All righty.